thank you guys so much for joining us today. My name is Andrea and I'm with Katie. We are both part of the product marketing team at Houzz. Our main mission is to actually understand what are the challenges that you are facing every day, and we're trying to translate those challenges into improvement for software. So we are both responsible for several features, and today we wanted to organize a deep dive on the CRM part and basically how you can organize your sales funnel, your sales pipelines through Houzz Pro. So I'm going to demo basically all you need to know about the CRM. All right. So first thing first is basically the CRM that we have developed. So we call it CRM, but in Houzz Pro we call it Lead. Is really a tool that allows you to handle your sales funnel and all of the leads that are coming into your pipeline. So obviously you're receiving leads from different type of sources, such as your website, Houzz, social media, word to mouth, referrals, or anything related to those. So we are really trying to have a repository of information that you can access easily, and basically have the good, levers to actually follow up with those leads to convert them into projects, eventually making your turnover increase. So first thing, to access the lead dashboard, what you need to do is hover. Sorry, we had some pronunciation discussion with Katie just before to say hover over the leads part. So in here you have different type of information. You have what are the messages that are unread, what's the messages from the leads that have been read, and create a new lead. But if you want to access the repository of your lead and basically your CRM, you just have to click on leads, and then you arrive on the interface where you can actually see all of the leads combined in Houzz Pro. So in that lead dashboard, you have access to different type of information. In the left trail here, you have access to all the lead based on the different stages that that the system powers or that you can create. I'll show you a little bit later on how to do that. So in here, you can already filter out the different stages where the leads are. So if you have new leads, basically new leads, they are just coming up fresh in your pipelines. They just reached out. You probably haven't contacted them yet. This is where you're going to find those leads. Then you have the connected, where you are contacted, where you have already sent some communication to them, already had like a first call or something like that. And then it goes along that way. So let's go back to all active leads. In here, you have all the leads that are in your pipeline, but if you have leads that ended up not being, fit, or that you just don't want to display on your pipeline, you can also find them under archived. So in all active leads, you have several ways of actually filtering them out. The first way is through the search bar. So in here, let's say that I'm a designer and I take care of bathroom remodels. I can just type bathroom, and then I can see all the bathroom remodel project that I have on my sales pipeline. You can also filter out your leads by project types. And I'm going to show you how to enter your project type per leads just a little bit later. But in here, you can basically filter what you like, the different type of project that you have, and then display them. So it's really a way to actually tailor your pipeline just the way that you want, and be able to access all the information according to what you're looking for. Another way to customize your sales pipeline is through that little box here, customize your view. If you click on that, you are able to toggle on and off the different columns that you want to display in your CRM. So let's say by default, you have everything turned on, right? So you have lead name, you have lead source, estimated revenue, profit, lead created, and then save. So what it does is that if you scroll horizontally, you'll have access to all of the information from your leads. As you can see here, you have the lead source, the project type, the tags, estimated revenue, estimated profit, when the lead was created, and when was the last activity that you had with that lead. So it's just a way for you as well to be able to filter them out and be able to see all the information at the same place. If you want, however, to remove some of the columns that are unnecessary for you, let's say that you don't want to display the revenue and profits, you don't necessarily want, the lead source right now, you can just toggle them off and save. Another way to customize your pipeline is freezing some information. So hold on, up, clear all. So if you want to freeze some information, obviously when you scroll horizontally, you only have the lead name here. But if you want to have the tasks, for instance, frozen, you can select from the columns what you want to pin. So in here, you have that little pin here. If you press on those, it's going to be frozen, sorry. And then as you're scrolling horizontally, you'll still have access to those columns. And you can do that for multiple columns, obviously. So in here, I have the lead name, the stage, the location, and then I can scroll. So this is a way to actually organize your pipeline. What you can do is also drag and drop the columns. So let's say that you don't necessarily want to freeze those columns, but you want to rearrange your sales pipeline. You can actually click on the columns and unclick and drop them. So drag and drop the columns just to organize your sales pipelines. So basically, it's a way for you to access the information as you go based on your typical workflow. So we have that, and then you can also resize the columns. So if you go on the line of a column, if you want to, increase the size or reduce the size, you can definitely do that, especially for tasks. That's quite relevant because in tasks you have longer text. So if you want to have access to them a little bit better, it's worthwhile increasing the size of the column. So that's for the lead dashboard and basically how to organize the view and how to view your leads based on what you want to see. The second part I wanted to see, obviously, is how you're going to feed that lead dashboard. Right now, I already have some leads in my CRM. Obviously, if you've been with us for a while, you probably have some leads that were already imported from either Houzz requests, so people who reach out from Houzz. If you have your website created from Houzz Pro, you also have those leads fed automatically into the CRM, but there are other ways to create a lead. The first way, if you go to add leads here, you have different type of ways of creating or importing a lead. The first one is how you create manually a lead. Let's say you're on the phone, you have someone calling from a referral, and then you're in front of your computer. So now let's say that it's Katie Swift. So Katie, it's a mix of you and Taylor, obviously. You can add their email address directly at email.com. Then you add for the phone number, you can add a street, up, there you go. And then you can create the name of the lead. So the lead name is actually the project. So I suggest that you find your own nomenclature to those leads, but usually what works well is the project type. So let's say you're calling for a kitchen remodel, and then the name of the lead. But obviously some pros are using the address and the project details. So basically you do whatever you prefer. Then if you click on add more information, you can nurture the lead information with different type of things. So in here you put the lead source. So obviously we are doing, the system allows you to create different types of sources. So you have the client referral, pro referral, is it digital media? And you're going to see how this is actually valuable when you're analyzing your sales funnel and basically what you're able to create through different types of channels. So I would suggest that you fill those in, but if you need to create other lead sources, You can manage lead sources, let's say referral, and here you can add a new referral. So in here we suggest different types of referral, but let's say that you have like a specific program with a designer brand, and then you can add that. So it's a great way if you're part of an affiliation program, or like any other type of communication channel that you have, to create those. And then you close it. So for this one, we said that it was a client referral, and then you can fill in the information. By the way, it's not compulsory to fill all the information, obviously. So you can fill it as you want. So estimated revenue, estimated profit, I will leave it blank for this time. And project type is also quite useful, especially when you want to filter down, by project type. So I'm going to go in here, but as you can see, you can also add a new project type. And then there you can add a description if you want. Then you press create leads, and that lead will be created. So it will automatically drive me to that lead page, but we'll go back in a moment. Let's go back to the lead dashboard. So now we have seen how to create a lead manually, but obviously if you already have a source of truth of all your leads, whether it's in an Excel or another type of software that you can export, there is a way to actually accelerate that process by importing your leads from a CSV. It looks like it's loading a little bit, so I'm just going to see if there are any questions so far. Stephanie asked, will the video be shared? Yes, it will. Thank you, Katie, for answering. Yes. I'm just going to refresh so far.
Doesn't look like there are any other questions, so feel free to keep adding them into the chat or the Q&A tab.
Awesome, thank you. So there we go. So obviously we want to automatize as much as possible, and save some time when adding leads. So obviously we have create new leads, but we can either import a lead from a file with Zapier and from email. So from a file, it works with a CSV. If you click on this, you have some tips on importing, on how to easily import. So we have a template available that is kind of easing the way, but it's not compulsory, because you will see later on how we are matching a CSV with the different data that you have provided. So we have an help center article here and the lead imports. But if you go to browse, I'm just going to go and import a lead template. So in here, I have 10 lines, and then I click on next. And then here, basically, my template matches Houzz templates. But if it doesn't, it will recognize automatically the columns that you have on your CSV file or on your Excel, and then you can match according to the system. So obviously, this is the Houzz Pro system. So this is lead name. So if you have, and here it's gonna actually take into account all of the columns that is in your Excel spreadsheet, so you can match them. So this is lead name, then you can add lead stage or just ignore those, the client name, and so on. So all the information that you want to put in here, it will be recognized, but you will have to match them. So that's why I highly suggest that if you do work already with an Excel spreadsheet, take a little bit of time to match the template, so it will be much easier. Little disclaimer, make sure that the numbers here are plain. Sometimes it can create some friction if the numbers in your Excel spreadsheets are not correctly entered, but there you go. You see in here, the client phones is invalid, but I'm going to import it anyway. Then 10 of 10 records imported successfully. And then I'll go back to my sales pipeline, and then I'll find all of the leads that are in here, right? So I have all the new leads coming from different places in the US. So this is how you actually import from a CSV file. Another way to import a lead is through Zapier. So this is a new integration that we have set up quite recently. So basically, it's a way of linking, different type of workflow with Houzz Pro. So today, I'm not going to spend a lot of time showing you how those workflow works. because we do have another video that we have created very recently. So Katie, can you post that video in the chat? If you're interested, our colleague Abby spent a lot of time explaining the different type of workflow with Zapier. So if you're using already Zapier, or if you have a Google Form submission, an Excel spreadsheet that feeds automatically with new leads, and that you want to create a Zap for it, feel free. Or if you're using HubSpot, obviously. So yes, you can also create that workflow, and it will feed automatically the lead stage. And then last but not least, you are also able to import from an email. So what it does is, in here, you only have to copy an email. So this, you copy that email address. If you go to your Gmail account or Outlook or whatever you're using, you can forward an email, and then you will receive an email from Houzz to actually create that new lead. So those are the 4 type of sources to actually import your leads and get started with what you want to see. I'm just going to see if there are. Eric is asking for the integration with Zapier. So Eric, we are gonna give you access to the video where it's actually explained a lot the process, because it's a deep dive on CRM. We are going to spend a lot of time also seeing different type of features. So we are going to send that to you so you can spend a little bit more time on how to set up those Zapier integration. All right. So something that I wanted to show. Obviously, now we know that how to integrate a lead, but obviously you have your own funnel of, like your own sales funnel that you want to set. And this is defined by the stages here. So in the past, if you've been with us for a while, you know that the stages were actually created by Houzz Pro, and there was no way of changing those. It has changed now, so you're now able to create your own lead stages. So if you have a specific type of pipeline, if you have different type of stages that you have created with your team, there is a way to add them. So in here you can add a new stage. It can be estimate signed but not paid, for instance. Up, you create that stage, and then you are able to retrieve it normally. Hold on, I'm just going to go back to manage lead stage. It's here, and then you can rearrange that according to your sales funnel. So obviously one is new, so as it's a funnel, the first one is usually when it's the first point of contact until the project is won. So you can create those stages, and then you can assign them to your lead. So let's say that for kitchen expansion here, for Jane, for Jane Wilson, where is that? In here, if I've already contacted that homeowner, then I can move the stage in here, and I'll find them around contacted there, right? So it's a way for you to actually create your own sales pipeline and to follow up with all the leads that are transiting into your CRM. So this is basically what I wanted to show you in the lead dashboard overview. Obviously, now that we have seen the overview, we want to see how we are going to handle the lead individually and create a good experience for them, and make sure that you stay on top of your leads, don't miss any deadlines, don't miss any information, and basically convert them into a project. So we'll go to a bathroom remodels for Amelia Torres. So in this lead detail, you just have to click on the leads as I've done, and then you arrive to the lead, the individual lead overview. So what it does in here, you have the overview page. So it gives you all the recent activities that you have done for the leads. So in here, you have all the action that you have done. So you see that I've created this lead from a CSV file imported yesterday. I've created a new tasks, And then you can see all the emails that have been sent, the text messages, and basically the lead activity. So what it does, in here, in the right navigation here, and I'm sorry, sometimes I'm mistaking my left and my right, so please bear with me. I've missed my driving license 3 times because of that, but I'm going to make an effort. You are able to edit the information of the leads, right? Just a little bit before, we have entered all of this information, but obviously they can change. If you have an estimated profit that needs to be updated, then you can just add them here and change the information right there. In here, you also have the tags part. In the lead dashboard overview, we have seen that we can filter out the leads per tags, and this is where you enter them. So the tags are just a way for you to create a better organization if the columns are not already, creating that for you. So for instance, in here, I've added a residential tasks. If I'm handling both commercial and residential, it's actually a way to differentiate those two. You can add, if it's a flat, a house, bathroom remodel, basically it's all the information that you want to be able to filter out by tags. So this is for you the way to create your own organization once again. In here, you are able also to see the lead stage. So we have seen how to actually change the lead stage from the lead overview, but in here, you can also move the needle. Let's say that you're already connected with that pro, you already had the first call, but now that you have set up a first inside visit, then you can move the stage and meeting schedule. So obviously, if you have a sales team already, this is a great way for everyone to be on the same page, to see where the lead is standing and how it's evolving through the pipeline. And then you have the lead owner and the lead manager. So the lead owner here, the lead manager is the person handling. So usually it's the sales team is the one or the person that is actually following up with the leads. So let's say that it's going to be me. And the lead owner are the people who have access to that lead. So you can also invite a team member there. So in here, it's all the information, expected start date. So it's the same information that we have through edit, but in here, you can actually edit them faster. So that's for the right navigation. Those are all the client details and lead information. What you have in here is also the notes. Those notes are quite handy, especially if you're creating any sales scripts, if you are doing your first call and you want to make sure that all of the discussions are being covered and that you have all the information available. So in these notes, I have added a bathroom remodel questionnaire. Let's say that I'm on the phone with a client, so they call me and they have 20 minutes to give me to actually talk about the project. It's a way for me to follow up with them on the phone to make sure that I haven't forgotten anything and that after the first call, you have all the information needed to actually come and visit. So in here, you can create, you can import and create a new document for your notes. It's actually a great way to add notes internally as well. Let's say that you want to add notes for one of your team members to make sure that if they go on visit, they make sure that they don't forget anything or that they need to check a specific type of, aspect in the kitchen, for instance, or in the bathroom. This is where you can actually access those. It's particularly handy because this is also available on Houzz Pro mobile app. So if you have, if you're going on site, you don't necessarily have your computer or, you only have your tablet or your phone, you can also access those notes to make sure you don't forget anything. So it's a great way to actually fill in the information as you go. And once you're done with the site visit, you can take 10 minutes in your car to actually write down all the details that you have noticed during the site visit. So everyone is on the same page. And if you have someone working in the back office, like to create a proposal, an estimate, or so on, it sends the information live, and it's a way to actually accelerate the process. What you can do also is to create a call log. So if you have different type of calls, right? And why we have created that is that the information are coming from all different sources, right? We have heard a lot of pros handling the, like the client through text messages, calls, and then an email threads. And then they give them a random call at 9 p.m. at night because they have, like a new idea that they want to add into the proposal, those kind of stuff. So it's really hard sometimes to, gather all the information at the same place. So this is why the CRM exists. So we make sure that everything is centralized and that you don't miss any critical information to actually create your proposal or estimate. So in here, you can create a new call log. You can say what's happening in the call. If a call later not interested in a good discussion, you can add the date. So we are 4th of April, 2025. And then you can add some description for your team. Good call, client seems interested, budget can go a bit higher than announced, this kind of stuff. So you understand this is really a way to have all the information. So in the notes, it's mostly like the information that you want to share internally.
Andrea, we're getting a few questions about the questionnaire. Do we have that pre-built within Houzz Pro?
So this questionnaire that I've created, I actually asked ChatGPT to power it. So it's quite helpful, but it's not a template. But if you feel like we need to create those templates to add into notes, feel free to let us know, and we'll try to incorporate that into the software as well.
Yes. And we did have a questionnaire at one point, but it wasn't very customizable. And so we got a lot of feedback also that it wasn't very helpful for our customers. So, but please let us know if you want a questionnaire. And if so, we will make sure that it is fully customizable for your business.
Yeah, absolutely. Keaton said, can we have a copy? We'll see if we can send that over as, like a template. That could be interesting. All right. So in the notes, then I go back to my overview and you see the notes has changed there. And then if I scroll down, I have the call log here. So I can access that directly if I click on the overview. So it's quite interesting because, in the lead activity, everything is centralized. So obviously, if you are a 2, 3, 4, 5 person working on the same lead, creating different type of action for your leads, this is where you're going to actually see them. And then you can access those information directly by clicking on the links. Another thing that we have created for the leads is the tasks part. So in the tasks part, it's a way to actually, assign a task to someone from your team, create a due date, and basically link it to schedule. So it's a way of not missing anything. So in the tasks there, I have already created a set of tasks. So you can add a new one, create a preliminary estimate. So I'm not so inspired. I'm sorry. I'm just going to do test 3 because we're going to waste some time for me thinking about a new task to add. But what you can do then, once you have created your task, because obviously the tasks, especially when you're doing prospection and when it's in your sales funnel, they're also quite repetitive from one lead to another. Obviously, if you're doing like bathroom remodels, it's usually the same type of process. Obviously, the clients are changing and sometimes there's a small modification to make, but usually it's always the same task that you're assigning to your team. So what it does, if you go to actions here, you can save your task as a template or use the templates that you have created before. So let's say that for those ones, I want to save it as a template, then I can create a new template or add to an existing template. So this is bathroom remodel. I'm going to create new one, new bathroom remodel. I can save, keep the team members assigned, the subs, and the task descriptions. And then I'm going to save that. So whenever I'm actually going to another lead, then I'll be able to add those templates to another lead. So in here, you see all the templates. So this is for a new bathroom remodel. And then in here, if I want to jump to bathroom remodel templates, I'm going to have access to the other templates in here. So in here, templates there, and then I can access all of the templates that I've created for tasks. And I can create a new template in here. But let's go back to Amelia Torres. Is there any question, Katie, regarding tasks, or so far so good?
Brian asked about creating tasks for subcontractors.
Yeah.
So we can, if you just want to show just quickly that functionality.
For sure. Let me just refresh. Guys, I'm sorry, it's a little bit late for me, and it seems that the French internet doesn't want to work with me today.
Brian, we can send you an article showing you how to do that.
Yeah. Let's see. Tasks. I think I just have to wait a little bit more. There you go. So when you assign someone up in here, you can grant access to, like people from your team. And I think tasks are only for, subs are only for projects.
Yeah.
So basically, I'm going to show you how to convert, a little bit later on a lead into a project. But at the moment, because the lead is still on the lead stage, so it's not already like converted into a project, we are not able to add any subs. If you feel, although that it's actually useful to have subs in tasks for leads, feel free to tell us in the chat, and we'll see how we can accommodate. If you feel that it could be interesting for you, but what it does is, because those tasks are usually linked to the sales funnel, this is why we don't involve the subs at this stage. All right, so we have the tasks, and if you open up a task, if you want to edit a detail here, you can create, like add to schedule in here, but I'm going to show you how, and then you can add a description in here, and you can also attach a file there. In there, you can add a comment, like to the team. This is the description. In more option, you can save as template or just delete. So that's for tasks. Then what you can do with leads is it's add a 3D floor plan. So in the past as well, it was only available for projects, which obviously created some friction, because whenever you're going to a site visit, that you have your phone, you have your Houzz Prom app, and that you want to create, like a scan of the room through the app, you had to create a project. So we have fixed that, fortunately. And now you're able to add a 3D floor plan. So let's say that you're, you have a homeowners that already have blueprints they wants to send you, and that you actually want to get started because you're actually creating a proposal and estimate based on a surface or something like that. You're able to create a 3D floor plan through your leads. So whenever you are having, if you're scanning your app, and maybe Katie, can you also share, the video on how to, scan, the Help Center article on how to scan a room in the chat? That would be great. But basically, every time that you're creating a scan for lead, so you go on site and then you take your phone and then you create that, you can assign it to a lead, which is what I've done for the bathroom that we're talking about. So in here, the lead will have access to the 3D model, the 3D floor plan that you have created for them. So it's actually a way to go the extra mile with your lead, to actually incite them into signing with you and not someone else. But because it's not a deep dive on 3D floor plan, we're not going to cover this part, and we go back to the lead. We have some video tutorial about using the 3D floor plan, so feel free to just check them. I think we have also organized a deep dive for 3D floor plan, and we'll probably organize a little bit more. So yes, you're able to create all of those. And a new addition that we have created is also creating a schedule for the lead part. So in here, you have some templates that Houzz Pro is actually giving. Oh, sorry, just gonna go back to schedule. So Houzz Pro is creating some templates that you can start with. So right now I'm on a design account, but if you're a general contractor, you'll also have dedicated remodel or renovation templates. So I'm just going to go and click on lead management templates, and then it's creating some of the steps in here. So I can start today, April 2nd, and then I have my schedule ready. So you can create your own, you can start from a template, you can create the dependencies. Once again, we have a lot of Help Center articles to help you create your schedule for that. But it's a way of linking those with the task that you have created. Let's say evaluate lead and detail. In here, you can create a new tasks. Find out where they found us, for instance. And this could be interesting. And then you can assign someone and so on. So you understand the logic behind that. The way to create that is to actually, like follow up with everything that needs to be done to have that lead up and running and sign the contract with you guys. And what we want to do is basically have, everything at the same place to make sure that nothing falls under the cracks, and that all the information that you need is given through that lead overview and that lead interface. We also offer different types of, feature available for leads, which is the files and folders leads. So obviously this one, you'll be able to share that. Oh, I'm sorry. I need to refresh. So if you go to files, you are able to share some files with your clients. You can also sync with Google Drive. You can build out, your own, nomenclature for the files that you want to share. So it's a way to keep track of everything, have everything under control, and especially when you're gonna win that lead and you want to convert into a project, you will also have access to those files that you're gonna share. So in here, if you select that, you can move the different type of element and so on. All right. If you need to hide that, you also have like a button there that allows you to do so. Okay. And also we have takeoff available. So if you need to, measure some of the, create some takeoffs and create a proposal or an estimate from a takeoff, this you can absolutely do. Same for proposal here. I've created a proposal. So it's just a draft, but you can create a proposal for lead, which makes sense, obviously, because eventually what we want to do is that your client signs an estimate or proposal with you and engage in that full project. So that's for the lead overview. You have other stuff that you can do on the lead part to be able to fully, manage what you want to create and the communication. I have mentioned that one of the pain points that our pros are, facing is the disparity of the communication. They are receiving a lot of information from emails, from texts, from calls, and so on. So how do we make sure that we centralize everything at the same place? Something that we can do is through the emailing platform here. As you can see there, I have sent an email to Amelia to actually engage in the conversation directly. So she will receive an email from me in her Gmail address or in an email box to actually start, exchanging on the project. So in here, you can send an email or you can send an SMS. So through email, what's actually cool about that is you can create templates. So in here, you have different types of templates that I have created, some created by the system. So this is Houzz Pro creating those. And those are the templates that I've created. So in order to create a template, you just have to create new. And then you can actually start a new template. So it can be follow-up email. So this is an email that you're going to send to follow up with your client. So you say hi, and then you can insert a smart text. So let's go with not necessarily client name, because it's going to go first name and last name. So hi, first name. Just wanted to follow up with you on the estimate I've sent, blah, blah, blah. You understand the logic behind that. So you can insert different type of smart text in it. You can create, you can format as well. You can insert link, save and select. And that's obviously saves you a lot of time, because if you want to use a template, then you go on templates here, and then I go in follow up if no response, and then I have my email already done, wanted to follow up to see if you're still interesting, and then I'm going to send that to the client. Let's say that the client already has, you've already exchanged directly into your email, email address in let's say Gmail or Outlook. So it's not already in Houzz Pro, but you want to gather all the information in Houzz. You have this button here, which is import messages. If you click on that, it will generate an email address. So this one. So you just have to copy the email. Once it's done, you go into your account, whichever you like. And then you can just forward that email to your email address. So I'm just going to do that quickly into an email. I forwarded that. And if I refresh, I should be able to have the imported email that I've sent. It might take a little bit of time. In the overview. Up. Yes, there you go. I have imported an email, you see. So sorry, it's in French, this one. But then I have access to the email that the pro have sent me. So it's a way as well to actually use your accounts and what you're currently using as, like an email address, to actually import that into Houzz Pro. By the way, Katie, do you mind showing also how the Gmail extension works for our pros?
Yes, no problem. Let me share that.
Thank you.
Okay. Awesome. So we do have a Gmail extension that's available if Gmail is your email carrier. Let me share my screen here, so I'll show you how you can access that. Perfect. So if you go into the Chrome store, you can just search for Houzz Pro CRM, and you'll see this page pop up. I already have the extension added to my toolbar here, but if you don't, it will give you the option to add it. So you just click install. Then you can see up here, I have this little H icon, which is the Gmail extension. So the benefit of this is whenever you are using Gmail, if you get contacted by leads, you can automatically add that into Houzz Pro. So it just reduces a lot of that manual entry. So let's go into my email. You can see I have this note from my lead here, Andrea, about a kitchen remodel in Manhattan. So you click into it, and then here again, you'll see this H on the side. So if I click there, you'll see it will give me the option to add Andrea as a lead. I think I did this previously, so right now it's just showing us the stage where she's at. So she sends me an email. I want to reply to her and say, sounds great, I would be happy to talk. So I can just click here into the templates. We have some of those existing templates here. You can also add new templates. So let's use this interested one. And then we'll just check this box here, add to Houzz Pro CRM. You also have the ability to insert a meeting link if you would rather do that. So we'll send it back to her. You can change the lead stage here. She came in as new, then we mark this here as followed up. We can say connected. And then when I go back into Houzz Pro, when I look at my leads, let's see, I should have this new lead. Let me just refresh.
Sorry, Katie, I've imported so many leads that it might be hard for you to find.
Oh, okay.
Maybe use the search bar.
Let's see, Andrea has gotten pushed down because I'm getting an influx of leads. Let's see, is this it? Okay, so here we go. So here is Andrea as a lead. Here's the email that she sent to me. And you can just see everything detailed within here. And I can choose to write back either from Gmail or from Houzz Pro, and everything again will just be automatically logged there. So again, just to make your lives a little bit easier, help you with tracking all the details and keeping on top of all the reach out emails that you're receiving.
Awesome. Thank you, Katie.
Sure.
So Ashley is asking very wise questions about, is there a way to schedule specific email templates to be sent at the time without manually going into send? For the moment, it is not at the lead level. We do have a email marketing feature in Houzz that allows you to send more of a newsletter, but we are not creating automated flow at the moment, but it will come in the future, not in the near one because we are building it at the moment, but hopefully we'll be able to give you more dates in the upcoming months. Patrick is asking, are there any plans for making that extension available for Outlook and Microsoft? If you feel for now, we are just trying to enhance the Gmail one, but obviously if there is a high demand for that, we'll inquire on creating those extensions. All right. So I'm going to share back my screen. We have not many minutes left up. So I'm just going to try to ramp up quickly. Up. All right. So as we've seen with Katie, obviously there are, like you can import the leads from Gmail, and you can also create meetings through Houzz and through the leads. So in here, you can share your calendar and schedule a meeting. So in here, you can choose the type of meeting that you want to set. And as you see, it can sync with video call from Google Meet. And then you can send the invite. So for that one, you will need to create an integration with Google. So to set that up, you need to go into Setting, Integration, Google Drive, and Calendar. So it's in here, and then you can sync with Google Meet or 8x8 or any Teams, Zoom, or anything else. Go to Meeting, and once you add those integration, you can edit the settings which are here. So it will help you also create those video meetings with your pros, with your homeowners, and basically reach out to them in a faster way. All right. So obviously we have covered quite a lot of things, and now let's say that you have, sent everything that you wanted to send to your clients, the proposal. In the perfect world, no back and forth, no negotiating the contract or the proposal, and then your client is ready to sign. So once you're ready, you can convert the lead into a project. So let's start with the worst case scenario, right? You have sent everything that you wanted to send, and then eventually the client say, well, I need a couple of extra months to make a decision. I need to, basically take a minute to think. It might not be the time right now, but it might be the time later. You have different actions that you can do. So I'm going back to the lead part. It's frozen. If you go to more action, you can either snooze, so print the lead if needed, but you can snooze it. So let's say that you have sent everything, and the person does not want to be contacted yet. You can snooze it for a month, 3 months, or you can choose a date. So let's say that this lead I want to snooze for until the 3rd of May. Then I choose it, and then I'll get a reminder to actually recontact that person back for May the 3rd. So it's a way also to keep track. Obviously, in a perfect world, everyone that contacts you, they want to start the project right now, but sometimes, and most often, it doesn't work that way. So if you need to stay on top of on top of things and make sure that you're contacting the person at the right time, you can snooze those person to actually reach back once they're ready. But let's say that they are fine, like they accepted the proposal, then you just have to convert to projects, and then you can change in here the lead source. So let's say it's a client referral here, and then you're converting that lead into a project. And so now the lead is going to be in the project interface. So you'll have access to more, like more feature like selection board, tracker, contract proposal, which was already, like on for the lead part, but now you're moving to the project. So that's it, right? So you can navigate through the lead dashboard over here. And the last point I wanted to mention, obviously, is how how effective are you with your sales funnel, and basically how to make sure you're seizing all the data that your sales funnel is bringing you. So in here you have the insights, and the insights will allow you to have basically an overview of your sales pipeline. So right now you can select a date. So this has been for the past years, but you can focus on the past 3 months. And in your sales pipeline, you can see how many leads are in your sales pipeline, how many of them you have won over the past 3 months, what's the estimated revenue, what's the estimated profit. And then you can filter down by active lead source. So as I mentioned earlier, this is why it's quite important to fill the lead sources, because obviously if you're doing any marketing program, if you're having, any Google ads investments, Houzz investment, or even, like a affiliation program with some other brands, it's actually quite interesting to have those to see how many, leads are coming from those sources, how many have you won, what's the estimated revenue. So it helps you also make, a decision on, how to adjust your sales funnel. And here it also allows you to see, at what stage most of the leads are, what's the follow-up, and so on. So you can also adjust those. I know for this quarter and the next quarter, we'll have also more insights and more data coming up for the CRM. So stay tuned. And this is basically what I wanted to show you for the leads section. So we have 6 minutes left, which I think is a good timing. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. I'll be more than happy to answer, Katie as well.
Yes, there's one question from Eric. He says when he sends a message from Houzz Pro, it assigns it to a random number. Is there a way to put your company phone number in that text message?
So for now, no, it's not possible because we're using a proxy to be able to send those text messages. But I'll definitely reach out to our product manager to see if this is something that can be considered in the roadmap. Thanks for sharing, Eric. I see that the questionnaire also is driving some attention, so I think it might be worthwhile, reinvestigating on how to create that questionnaire. I'm going to show you guys. Maybe it's worthwhile showing a little bit. Katie, what do you think?
Sure. Yeah, you can show it the current state.
So if you're going into, the lead dashboard in here, you have actions there, and you have the lead questionnaire. So you can view and edit the lead questionnaire, and you might not see it. No, you don't. It opens up in a new window. So hold on. I'm just going to switch screen. There you go. So in here, you have the intake form edits. So you can, filter down the information and so on. So in here, we're excited to hear about your project, contact information. So you have that. And this is basically a type of lead questionnaire that we have created. And then you can toggle on and off the question that you want to ask or not. So what do you need help with? But this is something that is not customizable, fully customizable. So we are, investigating on how to create a more like Google survey experience, a mix of, what we have here and something more customizable. But if you want to take a look, feel free to see if it might work for you. But if you have any feedback to give us, we'll be more than happy to hear them to make it better.
Yes, absolutely. One more question. Can you text the message to 2 people?
So that's a good question. For now, it's only one person. So you can only text to one person, but I'll take the feedback as well. Although you can email several persons.
Yes. And then another plug for the Outlook Office integration for the email extension.
All right. We hear you, the Outlook users. You're not alone. All right, Alex.
Awesome.
We really appreciate you having you here today. And I hope that you're going to join us for the next session that we organize. But in the meantime, I wish you a very good day and see you guys soon. Thank you, Katie, for moderating.
Yes, thank you so much, everyone. Have a great day.